Manchester United, a team once known for winning so many trophies, being the best historic club in England, still the best historic club in England, with the most league titles now, joint most league titles, with Liverpool picking up their 20th league title this season. While Liverpool is at the top, Man United is at the bottom of themselves. They are sitting here 16th, 17th in real life, and if it weren't for the bottom three teams that got promoted last season being so god awful, they could actually be in proper relegation fight there come the end of the season. But losing out to the Europa League is actually going to cost them more money than them winning the Europa League. They are around 440 million in debt just on player transfers alone, on what they owe on player transfers. They are over a billion in debt in totality. They are awful, and they are still looking to rebuild or build a new stadium. Don't know how that's going to work. This club is in desperate trouble. This club is in real trouble of possibly falling even lower than what they are at the moment in real life, which is kind of insane to say. And with the losing of the Europa League to Tottenham, giving Tottenham's their first trophy in over 17 years, in their first European trophy, that is diabolical in itself. That could bankrupt you and yourself, in all honesty. They are going to go ahead and come in this summer transfer window with players possibly not wanting to join them anymore because they won't have any European football. The only hope they had of European football was winning the Europa League. They don't have European football. They're in financial trouble, so they can't really afford to pay players too much. Can't really afford to buy players as well. And just the whole entire culture around the club at the moment is going downhill, and is going downhill fast. We are going to jump in here, and we are going to go ahead and jump in at the end of the season in real life. I went ahead and just sim the rest of the games. We had on the live start points, you still had the Chelsea and Tottenham game. I went ahead and gave them their 1-0 loss in both of those, which actually happened in real life. And then we simmed against Aston Villa on the final game day. We lost 3-1. We sit 17th in the league. We're going to the second season where we are 440 million in debt. We are going to go ahead and try and clear that debt, whether that may be selling Bruno Fernandes, who could be off to Saudi Arabia this summer, could be selling Garnacho. He could be on his way out of the club this summer. Not happy with only playing 20 minutes in the Europa League final after pretty much playing the whole entire tournament throughout the course of the tournament, going undefeated, by the way. All the old heads, Casemiro, Dalot, Johnny Evans, all them, Harry Maguire, could be on the way out. And we might be forced to use some youngsters until we clear that 440 million debt. Matheus Cunha is actually going to come into the squad here as well. We are going to go ahead and do that. We are going to be allowed to sign players. We are going to be allowed to sign players that will add to the debt. We cannot class this as a complete rebuild, though, until that debt is completely cleared. And we are starting at 440 million. So 440 million in the debt. We will go ahead and the only thing that can clear debt is player sales. Well, yeah, just player sales is the only thing that can clear debt. Obviously, buying players will add to that debt as well. So let's go on to Season 2 and start selling some players. Now, one player kind of almost set in stone that will be joining Manchester United in the summer is Matheus Cunha, unless something crazy and he wants to pull out because of them not having European football. But he's at Wolves. I mean, he's going to want European football because he's been so great for Wolves. We are going to look to bring him in. So whatever we go ahead and bring him in for is going to add to the debt. Now, obviously, in real life, they could set up financial. Oh, we actually only had 28 million anyway, so we might not even be able to afford. So the game actually thinks we're broke as well, so that's good. Diego Dalot for 23 million. Honestly, yes. Diego Dalot, sure, 23 million is going to be added to debt, but that Diego Dalot is not going to be taken away from the debt as well, though. So, ebbs and ebbs. And Matheus Cunha, welcome to Manchester United. I honestly would have stuck it out at Wolves. I would stick it up at Wolves at this point, to be honest. Or look to move somewhere else. Maybe like an Arsenal. Maybe one of the top 5 teams that are going to get Champions League football. Hell, maybe even Tottenham, who's going to have Champions League football as well. But if you want to make a sideways step, you can make a sideways step. He joined Manchester United 100% thinking that they would win the Europa League and that they'd be in Champions League football and could be on the way up. But that's obviously not happening anymore, so he's now stuck in a rut, and he's not going up. He's going sideways in all honesty. He's kind of going downwards as well. But Wolves are going to struggle without him. So Matheus Cunha, welcome to Manchester United, and 23.9 million will be added to the debt. So 463 million.9 will go ahead and be our new debt that we have to clear before we can classify this as a release or as a rebuild complete. And the first player sale we are going to go ahead and say goodbye to is Victor Lindelof, the Swedish center back. His time here at the club is done and dusted. He will be going over to Newcastle United. We're not getting much for him. I think it's around 5.5, 5.8 million in there. But he is off to Lazio, I should say. And for 4.9 million, we say goodbye to him. He's off to Italy. And we say goodbye to Tyree Malacia. He is off to FC Nantes for 8.9 million. A left back done and dusted. Still around that 450 million debt mark there. So not really, we're not even back to the 440. We still are kind of paying off the sale or the buying of Matthias Cunha. And the next player we say goodbye to is Bandier. He is off to Newcastle United for 5.8 million. We say goodbye to backup left back Jadon Sancho, who's obviously spent some time on loan at Chelsea this season. He's going to be staying in England, but he's going to go to the team that kind of put Manchester United in a worse financial situation. He is going over to Tottenham for 40.1 million. So our biggest sale yet will bring us down towards that 400 million mark, but still just above it. And now that is our first massive-ish sale done and dusted. I think this is going to be another big sale as well, possibly a controversial one. I mean, all this is controversial and not really what might not happen in real life. Manchester United is not going to do a full-on clear-out sale. They are going to suffer through it, but some players will have to be sold. But Matthias de Ligt, if he is sold, he won't be sold to this club. He is off to the other side of Manchester. He's staying in Manchester. He's staying local, but off to Manchester City. He is going for 51 million. And the next player will be Mason Mount, gone for 13.4 million. He is off to Brentford. And another player sold is Harry Moss for 1.95 million. So not much off of him, but we will take it. We're around 337.7 million still left of debt. And we are really only halfway through the first season transfer window. So we're making a dent into it a little bit. But I think a player sale or player buying might put us straight back up there, because we definitely need to buy another player. But we can't afford it right now on the game. So got to still sell some players. And we say goodbye to Casemiro. Goal threat detected. Goal threat non-existent. A bicycle kick at the very last minute of the game. Very last second of the game. Goes on the outside of the netting for Casemiro, and that could be the end of his Manchester United career. It could be the end of his career in totality as well. He is getting up there in age. Whether or not he looks at retirement this season or not, who knows. But he is off to Wolfsburg in this save for 10.2 million. That could be the last sale we make this summer. We don't want to completely gut the squad and just have nobody going in there. But that could be the last signing. We are really only looking to sell still at this point, Antony back from loan from Real Betis. We want to sell him. We want to sell Marcus Rashford possibly. We want to sell possibly Bruno Fernandes. We'll entertain ideas for Bruno Fernandes sales, and possibly Garnacho as well. Those are kind of the only players I'm looking out to be able to sell at the moment. And Alejandro Garnacho is off to Saudi Arabia. He's going off to Al Nassr to join Cristiano Ronaldo, his icon, even though he's Argentina and he's played with the GOAT. He's won the World Cup with the GOAT. Did he win the World? Was he part of the World Cup squad? He had to be, surely. He's won the World Cup with the GOAT. He's played with the GOAT. Now he's going over to the second best player in history, in Cristiano Ronaldo, over in Saudi Arabia for 24.4 million. And one of the sales we wanted to make, and honestly, this could be a good fit for him in real life as well. I do see him staying at Real Betis come the end of the season. But if he were to go somewhere else, I think AS Roma could be a good fit for Antony. He's off to AS Roma in Italy for 40 million? No, 27.5 million. We couldn't get 40 million. We tried to. They accepted 27.5 million. We are now not technically cut it in half, but we're around 275.6 million. I did have a transfer offer for Bruno Fernandes from Manchester City for around 60 million. Didn't want to accept two players going to Manchester City, so we went ahead and declined that one. And honestly, Bruno Fernandes might be safe for at least one season. Now, something that we are doing is obviously we're going to need youth players. We're going to need players to come into the squad here. So we are just looking in for the next best players out of coming in through the youth system to just add squad depth to the team here as well, and possibly be able to sell them later down the line. Something I will do is allow money or competition earnings to come into the debt, but not not like the whole thing, not the whole purse. We'll talk about that in a second. And so this is as the team looks like right now. We're going to keep Rashford for this season, which means he's probably going to play on the left-hand side here instead of Dorgu. We are going to keep this formation for as long as we possibly can. I don't know if I will keep it forever, but for now, it can be it. We have the back three of Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, a.k.a. Slabhead, and Lenny Yoro. We have Ugarte, Mainu in the midfield, Ahmed and Rashford on the wings, Bruno Fernandes and Cunha as our cams, and Højlund as our striker. Højlund, Xerxes. We'll find out who really plays. We have 275.67 million in the debt window that we still have let to cleared. We have a lot of just young players on the bench now, a lot of not really up to standard, up to Premier League quality players. And what I will say is, for cup competitions, if we are to win the Carabao Cup, that is 1 million off the debt clearance, so that's just 1 million. If we win the FA Cup, that is 5 million. If we win the Premier League, that is 20 million off of it. If we are to win a European competition while we still have debt, obviously not in the European competition this season, if we are to win a European competition while still in debt, that is additional 35 million off of it. So 1 million for Carabao Cup, 5 million for FA Cup, 20 million for a Premier League title, 35 million for a European trophy. And halfway through the first season here, we are sitting in the top 10, miles better than in real life. We are currently sitting in 9th. We are off the top 4 by 14 or 17 points, I should say. So not really doing much better because there is a massive drop off from top 4, but top 4 is absolutely flying at the moment. There is only 8 points in which Manchester City are currently winning the league after their not so great season, one of their worst seasons in relatively recent history. Middlesbrough, Bournemouth, and Burnley are all looking to go down. Bournemouth, after a great season, are now struggling in real life, where Leeds United, who got promoted, are sitting in 17th, fighting for relegation as well. I could see that happening in real life. I could definitely see Leeds United not getting relegated next season. Out of the 3 clubs that are going to get promoted between Leeds United, Burnley, and either Sheffield United or Sunderland, I think Leeds United is going to go ahead and possibly be safe. As far as the Carabao Cup, we did not make it that far. We made it all the way to round 3, where we were knocked out against Tottenham. So Tottenham knocked us out of the Europa League, put us into financial situation turmoil, and now knocked us out of the Carabao Cup, so a possible 1 million will not be added. We are obviously still in the FA Cup. That begins today, or that begins soon as well, where we are facing off against Wickham in the FA Cup. So we'll see if we can win that, and I'll see y'all at the end of the season, where hopefully we have European football for next season, because that's still not a guarantee. We definitely need European football. And at the end of the season, we finish in 10th. 38 games gone by, 52 points. We missed out on European football by over 20 points. Chelsea and Crystal Palace have not played their final game of the season. I've never seen that not happen in the Premier League for a real long time. I don't know why they haven't played. In fact, do they have a set date to play? Or is that just a kind of glitch? It could be a glitch. No, they play on the 27th of May on the final game day. That is interesting to know. Manchester City are your Centurions. Arsenal finishing in 2nd for the 4th, which would be the 4th season in a row. This time by only 2 points. That would be painful. I'd rather finish in 2nd like we have this season than finish in 2nd by only 2 points. Because then, I mean, this season we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a chance. Middlesbrough, Leeds United, and Bournemouth are all down relegated. And Middlesbrough beat Derby County of 11 points and only do it in 5. That is diabolical. Wow. As far as the FA Cup, you wouldn't guess who we got knocked out to. You just wouldn't. It was Tottenham again. We got knocked out to Tottenham again in a domestic competition for the 2nd time this season. We lose 2-1 to them. Alright, well then, on to Season 2, where we are still 275 million in debt. No prize earning is going to get us out of that. Our top goal scorer is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Could it be his final season at the club? I sure as hell think so. Let's go on to Season 2. And I totally forgot about Youth Academy players as well, so there goes that idea in my head out the window. And the first player gone is going to go ahead and be... no clue who that is. Game face wise, Mazzarari. That sounds crazy, but I think no, it's Joshua Xerxes. That was not Joshua Xerxes, but he is off to Nottingham Forest for 20 million.39. So he is off there. We are going to be pretty much cutthroat and just kind of start accepting. The sooner we accept, the more players we can eventually start to bring in. We also say goodbye to Rasmus Højlund, so both strikers are gone. They are staying in the Premier League, but both strikers are gone now. We're now down to 225 million. Still not yet half of the original debt cleared, and I expect a big chunk to this come back in it as well, just to be completely honest. And this is Mazraoui gone. He is off to Liverpool, so that was Mazraoui on the cut scene. He is off to Liverpool for 13 million. We say goodbye to him. So a bunch of sales within the last moments here. And we are going to go ahead and bite that bullet and add more money into our debt. Pretty much all the player sales we just sold are going to come straight back into that debt. And we're going to go ahead and pick up Ruben Amorim, striker out of Sporting. Mr. Yekeres is going to go ahead and join this Manchester United squad for 87.6 million. So that is going to bring our debt just under 300 million at 299.78 million, pretty much exactly 300 million here. Welcome to the club. I think with this striker, he is going to score a lot of goals, can get us into higher positions in the league for sure, and then obviously start to bring in more of that money. But 299 million now is our debt. A lot of the work just erased off of that like that for Mr. Yekeres. Welcome to Manchester United. And we say goodbye to Lisandro Martinez. A center back is off to Atalanta for 29.3 million. We go ahead and get that down and out of the club. The little short guy that tore his ACL, unfortunately, is now off to Italy. And next up on the chopping block is going to be a Luke Shaw. English left back is off to Chelsea. He will be staying in England, moving down to London at Stamford Bridge. Goodbye to you. We say goodbye to Manuel Ugarte off to Tottenham for 37.5 million. We are just going to start accepting deals for these guys now. We got to get them gone, and the sooner we get them gone, the quicker we can start to rebuild and get this club back to the levels it should be at. And here he goes. We feared that he was going to possibly leave in the summer of last window. He now leaves in the summer of the second season window. Bruno Fernandes. We're going to have to start accepting transfer offers for these older guys because their value is going to continue to deteriorate. So we just kind of accept the first one coming. We get a little bit more than what they offered initially, but he is off to Spain and off to Girona for around that 45 million mark. And in fact, 48.6 he is going to be gone for. So just under 10 million that we could have got him for last season. We're now back under 200 million at that 176.88 million mark of debt. That is a good chunk of debt to start to erase there as well. With not really many players coming into the squad, we did go ahead and promote. Oh, Marcus Rashford has also gone to Arsenal for 17.2 million. For some reason, I mean, this has always been a thing. I could not see it happening in real life for once this season. I don't think there's going to be a transfer point. But Marcus Rashford is off to Manchester United. We are now at 159 million in the transfer debt. Our squad is going to start looking a lot worse, which is obviously not a good thing here. So Ahmad is going to have to play as a cam in this situation here, and we are going to have to play Williams as a right-hand side. And this is kind of the territory that we are going to start getting into, where these younger guys, these youth academy players that we have in a team, are going to start being part of the first team. It's just as simple as that until we're able to sign players on a more regular basis. And I really kind of want to limit myself to one signing per summer in the window. We could loan players in, we could bring players in for free, but for now we're just working on clearing our debt. We go ahead and loan in one player in the name of Pavlovic, I believe, coming in from Bayern Munich. No, Vidovic. He is coming in. Vidovic is going to come in from Bayern Munich. Just as a possible squad, that the real possibility is that he does not play. The real possibility is that he does not play and he's recalled in January. That is a real possibility, but we just add him to the list. We go ahead and loan in another player by the name of Miles Lewis Skelly. He's no longer at Arsenal in the save. He is over at PSG, the team that knocked us out of the Champions League semifinal this season in real life. He's going to come in. He's not going to be a left back. He will be a center mid. He will play as a center mid for this season alongside Kobe Mainoo. So welcome to the squad. We will have to change him to a center mid. It is a loan to buy as well, so an option to buy him at the end of the season for 35 million. So that could add to our debt as well. But Miles Lewis Skelly, welcome to Manchester United. Welcome back to the Premier League, I guess, after spending a season out at Paris Saint-Germain. And with Lewis Skelly as a center mid, this is your team. We have Onana in net still. We have Heaven, Maguire, and Yordo. It's probably Heaven, Maguire, and Yordo as your back three. Lewis Skelly, Mainu in the midfield. Dorgu and Williams on the wings. Cunha, Ahmad as our cams, and Yekades as our striker. Hopefully he can bring the goals and get us into a favorable position of European football. But our back line is not looking great. It's not looking great. So on to the January to see where we come. Oh, to be fair, I was scared to see where we were halfway through the league here. But we are sitting in 9th again in the league. This time, maybe, oh, nope, same amount points-ish. A little bit better, 13 instead of 17 points off top 4. We are 12 points off top 6, 2 points off top 7, which should be Conference League football. As far as the FA Cup, we have a round 3 fixture against Chelsea. So we start off strong against Chelsea. In the Carabao Cup, we made it all the way to the quarterfinals, where Tottenham knocked us out again in another domestic cup competition. You can't make this up. Tottenham is haunting this Man United club at this point. This is insane. So Tottenham get into the semifinals of that. They knock us out in the quarterfinals of the cup. Well then, on to the rest of the season. I guess there's nothing else to really say to that, to be completely honest. And in fact, actually, maybe let's check on Yekades. How many goals does Mr. Yekades has? Also, something to say is Harry Maguire is going to be not sold. He is going to retire at the end of the season. We couldn't go ahead and negotiate another deal. He's retiring at the end of the season. How many goals does Yekades have? He has 15 goals. Absolutely absurd. Well, hopefully we can make a better second half and get into some type of European football. Maybe win the cup. That'd be a miracle. And at the end of the season, we don't fall off. We finish in 7th, which could and should be Conference League football. But there's a real possibility that this is obviously not Conference League football. The game might be coded just to give 5th Europa League and 6th Conference League. I think that is how it is. I think that's how it works in real life. Anyway, Liverpool are Centaurians, but they are Centaurians +3. Manchester City are Centaurians, but they finish 2nd. Arsenal finish in 3rd. So there is that. They finish in 3rd. Manchester City finished in 2nd here. And we are going to go from there. Top goal scorer is Gyökeres with 30 goals. Cunha had 13 goals. Ahmad had 12 goals. There's a real possibility that we are going to spend some money to add to the depth next season to try and get this team up the league table to be competing in the Champions League and having a chance to win the Champions League and all that other stuff there. But for now, we're still 159.68 million in debt going into season 3. We go ahead and bring Miles Lewis Skelly back into the club, this time as a permanent deal. 33 million he comes into the Manchester United squad. We're going to allow ourselves to sign one player over the course of 20+ million. Everybody else has to be under 20 million, and obviously adds to the debt as well. Miles Lewis Skelly, welcome to the club. 33 million added to our debt. We are just back under 200 million. So as much as we make progress, we quickly kind of erase that progress in 1 or 2 signings, and I expect this to possibly go back over 200 million as well. The question is, do we have Conference League football? I don't think we do. I really don't. Continental, we do actually have Conference League football, so, and they want us to reach the semifinals. I want to win it. So we do have European football for the first time in this rebuild in the start of season 3. In Jacobo, a center back out of Real Madrid, is going to join the squad here. We need to add depth to our center back pairings. So Jacobo comes in for 5.5 million with his contract expiring. We'll get him for a little bit cheaper. Welcome to Manchester United, and hopefully you can help us win the Conference League. And back over 200 million debt we go by bringing in another center back for 14.1 million. We go ahead and bring in a younger center back to the squad. Mr. Van Damme comes into the squad from Deportivo Alvarez. Welcome to Manchester United. We finally say goodbye to Andre Onana, but we will not be getting any money for him. And in fact, more money will be getting added to our debt as well. We go ahead and bring in a young Australian goalkeeper who's technically worse than Onana, but has better potential and a better future for us. So we say goodbye to Onana. We just used him to make this deal a little bit cheaper, and we get this keeper in for 27 million. So 27 million does get added to our debt. We're back over 239 million in debt. So back just doing circles. This is just how life goes. We honestly don't need this goalkeeper. We're looking at Penders as well, and we are looking at bringing in Joao Costa on loan. And our right mid, Joao Costa, comes in on loan for this season and getting ready for Conference League football. And so this is how the team looks. Miles Lewis-Skelly, a permanent player in this team at CM. We have Ahmad, who could be on his way out at the start of next season. Costa as center back. Van Dam and Jacobo as center back pairings. We make slight improvements this time. Instead of starting the second half in ninth, we finish it in 8th in the first half. We are 10 points off the top 4. Liverpool are currently running away with the league again as well. Carabao Cup, did we get knocked out to Tottenham again? The answer is probably yes, and the answer is probably still yes here. Man, no, we got knocked out to Luton Town in the Carabao Cup all the way to start around 3. In the Champions League, we don't care about that. In the Conference League, we go ahead and sit in 8th after 6 games. So we skip on the playoff rounds there. So obviously, the Conference League is only 6 games. It is not 8. We skip out on the playoff round, which is great for us. I think I forgot to do contract extensions at the start of the season, unfortunately. But Yekades has 14 goals out of him. That is beautiful to see. I'm about to do some contract extensions, and then we'll get to the end of the season where hopefully we have a trophy to our name or Champions League football to our name at minimum. And we win the Conference League. We beat Lazio 2-0 on the Conference League. We finished 9th in the Premier League, though. Manchester City, 3 seasons in a row of being Centurions, but we win the Conference League beating Lazio 2-0. So that is minus 25 million on our budget. So we're back down at 214 million. Well, on to season 4. We're going to promote some of these youth guys and hopefully get some more money in here. We are in the Europa League now. In the first sale of the summer is Jake Clayton, a youth academy prospect, gone over to West Brom for 12.1 million. We seriously need to get out of this debt here to start making progress, and that's going to be a big part of it. And we say goodbye to Alejandro Morelos, a player that y'all probably haven't even seen, that I haven't probably showcased for 10 million. He is gone as well. And a massive one, Matheus Cunha is off, and he's staying in the Premier League, going to a club that he should have gone in the January transfer window in real life this season. He's going over to the Arsenal, and a massive chunk of our debt is going to be deleted. Over 90 million, 92.3 million. He is gone. We are officially, and for the first time in this rebuild in the start of season 4, under 100 million of debt. And the biggest one yet, not yet, never mind. Excuse me, but Paco Correa is gone for 8.6 million. It's not the biggest one. There is a big one coming that will clear our debt for good, but it's going to put us into a horrible position for this season in the league. And I think this is it. I think just moments later, it is it. Mr. Yekades is gone out of the club, over to Newcastle United for guess what, over 100 million, and with us having 90 million in debt, this will clear it. The debt is officially cleared. 168 for 100,000. He has gone, and we are now clear of the debt, and we are well over the debt of 77 million. So now what's going to happen from this point on is we are going to act as this as a normal rebuild, essentially. So the debt is cleared of that 400 million. We suffered for the 3 and a bit seasons. We're going to end up suffering for 4 seasons. We cannot spend this 168 million, so because obviously we can't spend this money. We're up to 262. We cannot spend this money for this season. We can spend up to 77. We'll say 77 million to go ahead and try and rebuild this squad here. Because at the moment, this squad is not in the best situation with that guy being gone. And in fact, it's really not in a great situation at all with him being gone. So we're going to look for a striker that can possibly do the job. Cam to replace Cunha. And it might be the last season as a 3-back. Remember, we are in the Europa League as well now. And the first player post-debt is going to be Marini Lubicic, or Jubic. I don't know how to say his name. He's coming in from Union Berlin as a striker. Welcome to the squad. And the next best player we bring in is a right midfielder in the name of Jota Silva. He is coming into the squad to help us just improve our squad depth over from Nottingham Forest for just under 20 million. Welcome to the squad. And there we go. This is a team. Jacobo, Van Dam, Yordo, Lewis Skelly, Mainu, Silva, Russo, Lukovic, Ahmad, Dorgu. A lot of work to be done. Let's see what we can do. Maybe a miracle this season. And halfway through our first season of debt-free year, we are sitting 10th in the Premier League. We are obviously going to continue to struggle, at least until the start of next year, maybe even the season after that. FA Cup, we are still around there. We're in round 4 against Ipswich. The Europa League, which we are in the playoffs. We finished 10th in the league phase, skipping out on league phase by 2 goals, to be honest. We were tied on points with them with OGC Nice. And in the playoffs, we have LASK. Hopefully, we can maybe climb up the table or at least win the Europa League, but we'll see at the end of the season. We finished 9th in the Premier League. FA Cup, we do not make it in there. The Europa League, we do not make it there. How far did we make it in the Europa League? It doesn't look like far at all. We made it to the round of 16, so we got out of the playoffs. In the round of 16, we lost 5-1 on aggregate. Next season, we will have money to spend, and we will be going ballistic, but that is this season done and dusted. A top goal scorer, Lukovic, had 32 goals, so that is great out of a kind of emergency shining striker. On to then. And we start season 5, or is this season 6? I believe this is season 5. First season of proper rebuild by bringing in Liaman Ahmed, a free agent Algerian right midfielder. He comes into the squad. These are also the list of players that we are going to look to bring in. We're not going to be able to afford everyone. In fact, we're probably not going to be able to afford most of these guys. But we are going to look to bring in 1 or 2 of these guys on a permanent deal and possibly loan in a couple more players. Moretti, we are going to bring in as a free agent as well. Save the pennies when we can. We bring in Samuel Winter, a center-back out of Aston Villa for 50 million. Welcome to Manchester United in this new life of a Manchester United squad. And we bring in Ethan Waneri on loan. We are switching formations. We are going to have a winger, and Ethan Waneri is going to be a perfect loanee. I don't know why he's at Everton, but he is. And now he's over at Manchester United for a season. Welcome to the squad. And so this is your team to hopefully get us back into European football. Jota Silva on the left, Lukovic as our striker, Waneri on the right, Ahmed, Lewis Skelly, and Mainu in the midfield, Moretti, Yordo, Winter, and Koch as our back four, and Holton as our goalie. Hopefully this team can get us into European football for this season. We'll find out whether or not it can happen come January. We'll see if not we have a good idea, and there is a preseason tournament, so I'm going to have to do that again. And at the end of the season, we finish in 5th. We are back in European football after not being in it for so long. Europa League, here we come. We continue to grind. We continue to just raise this team up even more now. Top goal scorer is Lukovic with 15 goals. Ahmed had 14 goals. He's up to 89 overall. We might have to cash in on him come next episode. And we start the season off by bringing in Netherlands center back Sven de Jong out of the free agents. 87 overall. Welcome to Manchester United. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk's regen, more than likely 87 overall at 19, 18, 20 years old, whatever it is. He comes into the squad. He's going to be our new back line. And for quite literally all of the pennies we have left, we bring in Maximum Jensen. We drop off our best striker, Lukovic, for this guy, plus 75 million with a 15% sound clause. That won't matter. This guy will come in as a center mid. So we give a striker for a center mid. He will help improve our squad depth quality in part of the team because we only have real 2 starting quality type of center midfielders. Our backup is 60 overall. So Maximum is going to come in at 87 overall for Manchester City. Either Kobe Mainu or Lewis Skelly is going to drop off, which is completely fine. And honestly, Lewis Skelly could drop off back to left back in all honesty, but then would be short again in midfield. So ebbs and O's, we'll figure out what to do. In just a little bit over halfway through the season, we are sitting in 8th at the moment, 34 points. We are 5 points off top 5. Everton is in 5th. Crystal Palace is in 6th. Chelsea is currently winning the league. As far as the Europa League goes, we are not in the playoffs, which means we finished in the top 8. And in the top 8, we finished in 4th after 8 games, finishing on 17 points there. So we are climbing up the tables. We are finally starting to find some form. I will see y'all end of the season where hopefully we are in a Europa League final. And we scraped by getting Champions League football by 3 points here in the league. So we bounced back beautifully in the later half of the season. We weren't too bad, but we bounced back beautifully. We are back in Champions League football. As far as the FA Cup goes, that goes to Chelsea. There goes that. The Carabao Cup actually goes to Manchester United. I didn't even see that. We win the Carabao Cup. We went ahead and beat Leeds United in the Carabao Cup semifinals. We beat Arsenal in the final. The real one, though, is the Europa League, and the Europa League belongs to Manchester United. So we was going to have Champions League football no matter what. A 2-0 win here against Benfica. Into the Champions League we go. And Thomas, who's now our starting striker because of Lukovic going away, he has 35 goals in 60 appearances. Absolutely insane. Ahmad is up to 91 overall, which is insane in itself. Janssen has 7 goals, 8 assists. Lewis Skelly had 5 goals, 4 assists. So that means Kobe Manu did play. To be fair, he played every single game. He played every single Premier League game. So midfielders rotation is insane there. On to season, whatever season this is at this point. I'm doing this over 2 days now. Let's see what the boys can do next season. Maybe win the Champions League in the first time being back in the competition. And we start our first Champions League season by bringing in a left back. João Hato will be coming in from Atletico Madrid. One of the weak points of this team, besides our bench, is João Hato, or is a left back. And João Hato is going to come in and rectify that. We make a statement signing by bringing in Desiree Doué over from Paris Saint-Germain. He comes over and joins this Manchester United squad. We also bring in Thomason as a free agent, and we bring in Carlos Costa as a free agent as well, an 87 rated goalkeeper. Is he going to start instead of the Australian? The answer is probably yes, but probably no at the same time. 88 overall and an 87 backup goalkeeper. He was a free agent. He popped up in my little scout list, so we just signed him anyway. So yeah, that is kind of the team that we are looking at the moment here. If I can go ahead and put the actual left winger that should be on there, and Desiree Doué up here. This is your team. We have Desiree Doué, Thomas, Ahmed, Ahmad, Janssen, Lewis Skelly, Hato, De Jong, Yoro, Moretti, and Hoyten as our goalkeeper. Our bench looks a little bit better as well. More well-defined bench here for us, so that is always good news as well. Our first season in Champions League. Let's see if we can do something spectacular. And just over the halfway point, we are currently winning the league here. We are 4 points behind Liverpool. The race to 21 is on here. We are currently sitting 4 points ahead of them by just 2 draws. So that is the difference in that. We are in the FA Cup still, or are we not? We're actually not in the FA Cup. We lose in round 3. We lose to Norwich in round 3. We're not in the FA Cup, but we are in the Carabao Cup again, looking to go back-to-back, where we're actually up 2-0 after the first leg against Liverpool. We could be doing a rematch with Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. In the Champions League, we are in the playoffs, and we'll be taking on Sporting Portugal after we finish 13th in the league phase, only 2 points off the top 8, in which a team like Rosenborg actually managed to get all the way up there, where Real Madrid are your best team in Europe so far after the first 8 games, winning 6, drawing 1, and losing 1. Top 8 are FC Porto, Chelsea, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, Arsenal, Rosenborg, and Frankfurt, and then, of course, obviously, Real Madrid. So we will take on Sporting Portugal in a matter of moments here. Let's see what we can do. First leg here of the Champions League playoff. It's a 2-1 win. Thomas Brace in the game there. Harder scoring for Sporting Portugal, and we take a 2-1 lead going back to Old Trafford. Second leg here against Sporting Portugal, a 2-0 win. Janssen and Thomas on the score sheet, 4-1, and we are into the round of 16. And we actually have Rosenborg in the Champions League round of 16, so we should be able to get through this easily, but they're obviously finished in top 8, so They're not a push-away team, and they show that here in the first leg, a 2-2 draw with Ahmed and Thomas on the score sheet, Thorstensen and Mortensen. Bunch of sends on the score sheet. Second leg here against Rosenborg. Can the boys get the job done? Strong enough to do so, and there it is. Man Utd, Ahmed, and De Jong on the score sheet. A 5-2 win on aggregate. It was a tough home fixture, an easy away fixture, and into the quarterfinals the boys go. And here is the Carabao Cup final. Can we go back-to-back? We can. Back-to-back against Arsenal in back-to-back seasons. We are your defending champions of the Carabao Cup once more. It's Paris Saint-Germain in the, what is this, the quarterfinals? Is this the quarterfinals? Yes. The PSG in the quarterfinals. The first kind of massive matchup here. Quick sim the first leg, a 2-1 win. Thomas and Janssen on the score sheet. Thomas is absolutely carrying Manchester United on his back like it's absolutely nothing. We are also 7 points clear, top of the table as well in the Premier League. So all things are looking good here for a domestic treble. It's not the FA Cup treble, but it's a domestic treble nonetheless. Second leg here of the Champions League quarterfinals, I should say, to get a trip into the semis. A 3-0 win. Desiree Doué, and Miles Lewis Kelly. So real life players coming in, not saving the day, but confirming the day and putting us into the semifinals of the Champions League. And the Champions League looks possibly easy depending on who we get. If we get Liverpool, it'll be hard, and if we get Chelsea, obviously it'll be a little bit difficult. But if we can get Club Brugge, then we could have an easy trip to the final. It's Liverpool in the semifinals after they take down Borussia Dortmund. Club Brugge, they have not yet to play. Either Club Brugge or RC Lens is going to be quite easy, and honestly Liverpool could throw that away as well, so that hasn't played their quarterfinals games. But Chelsea take care of business with back-to-back 4-0 wins, winning on aggregate 8-0 against Real Betis. So interesting to see that. We'll see who we get. It is Chelsea versus Manchester United in the semifinals, and RC Lens versus Liverpool in the other semifinals. So a trip to, don't know where the final would be in whatever year this is, 2035, whatever, 2033, possibly 2034, one of the years there. No Lenny Yordo, he's out with a red card suspension, so another center back is going to step in, and we do win 1-0. Thomas again on the score sheet. We go back over to Old Trafford with that 1-0 win next week to try and get us into the final of the Champions League after the first time of asking. Could be a real miracle. Second leg of the Champions League semifinal in a 2-0 win. Miles Lewis Kelly and Desiree Doué. And into the Champions League final we go, where we'll be taking on probably Liverpool. Will we be taking on Liverpool? We will not be. We'll be taking on RC Lens in a Champions League final. Well then. And before we get to his Champions League final, let's go through what else has happened this season. We win the Premier League by a total of 14 points, outdoing our biggest rivals of Manchester City. Not our biggest rivals, but the rivals of local. We go ahead and outdo Tottenham as well, and we get the one over Liverpool. And in fact, I think Liverpool has won the league a couple times in this rebuild, so maybe not. Crystal Palace, shock of the season, finishing in 6th. Everton in 8th. Arsenal in 7th. How many big six is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who am I missing? Chelsea. Where's Chelsea at? Chelsea's all the way down in 14th. And then getting relegated is Southampton, Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest. We are going to end this rebuild after this game here, so it's one chance to win the title here. Let's go and see who the top goal scorer is at this end of the season with one game left to go. Desiree Doué had 41 goals. Signing of the rebuild, Thomas had 31 goals. Ahmed had 17 goals. The original player, not the only original player, because Man Utd is also an original Manchester United player. So 2 original players, a part of the first team at least. Kobe Manu is not really starting. Lenny Yordo as well is actually starting as well. And here is your starting lineup to get into this game here against RC Lens at the Metropolitano. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's go and see if we can get Manchester United the Champions League trophy. Here we go. It's the Manchester United versus RC Lens from the Metropolitano here in Spain. And let's see if we can win a Champions League trophy. Let's see if Desiree Doué can finish off his fantastic debut season here at the club with the silverware that they want so bad. Hato into Janssen. Janssen into Ahmed. And Ahmed now down the left-hand side. He's going to cross it in for Ahmad. And Ahmad, the original player, the captain of this club, saves point blank at the keeper. Janssen now on the corner. De Jong to head it in. No. Desiree Douay will pick it back up. Maybe. Yes, he will. Desiree Douay whips it in. Header comes in. Saved. Here's Vidal into Savderda. Savderda into Ayari. And Ayari, their first attack is going to be a goal. And they open up the scoring here. RC Lens take the lead from Manchester United from underneath their feet. Desiree Douay out wide for Joel Hato. Hato cross in. There's nobody there. It'll fall for Janssen into Desiree. Desiree Douay into Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly back over the top for Desiree. Second ball for Janssen. No. It'll fall for Lewis Skelly. Out wide for Ahmad. Ahmad in for Ahmed. And Ahmed saved by Diego. Joel Hato. Desiree Douay. Desiree now. He's going to take it himself. Desiree, a little fancy goal there. A little flick and flare. And Desiree Douay levels it up for Manchester United. It's 1-1 here in the Champions League final. And just look at his little finish here. It's like a little flare flick up. Kind of distracted the keeper. Chips it just enough over him and level it up here. Janssen into Thomas. Thomas in for Ahmed. Ahmed in for Ahmad. And Ahmad now on the ball. The Manchester United original will take the lead from Manchester United. The captain of the club takes the lead 6 minutes after we equalize. It's 2-1 here for the Devils. Corner comes in. Ahmad finds Desiree Douay into Janssen out wide for Ahmed. And Ahmed now, he's just going to put it into space, and somebody's going to run to it. It's going to be Desiree Douay. He's going to lay it up for Ahmed Diallo. And Diallo to seal it. Tries to get past the keeper. Can't do so. Ayati, Barry, who has the first goal of the game and the only goal for RC Lens. Ayani now on the ball. Can he do anything with it? He'll find Arari, and Arari will level things up here. It's 2-2. They level the game with less than 4 or 5 minutes to go in the first half. Less than that. It's like 3 or 2 minutes to go in the first half here. And we have a level ball game once more. Savdeta. Savdeta. Arari. Shot comes in. It's blocked. It'll fall for Barry. And De Jong intercepts. Not wide to Ahmed. Ahmed into middle for Janssen. And Janssen out wide for Ahmed. And Ahmad now. Ahmad Diallo on his left foot. Curls it wide. Savdeta. Barry. Barry into Aoyani. Shot comes in straight to the keeper. Hoyton makes a save. Desiree Douay into Janssen. And Janssen now on the ball. And Janssen still going. Janssen out wide for Hato. And Joel Hato across the face of the net. It overhit it. Moretti into Ahmad. Ahmad in for Thomas into space. And Thomas now, you've carried this team the whole season. Ahmed. And Ahmed scores a winner for Manchester United. And they will win the Champions League here in regular time. A 91-plus minute winner here. And Manchester United are your Champions League winners. A rebuild where we started, where we had to sell the current players, some of the best players of this team. Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Garnacho. We had to clear a 440 million plus debt because we added players to the team like Yekeres. We added players to the team that had to improve this team to help us get some more money for European competitions. Didn't really work out too much, but Yekeres was definitely a key point in that. He added a lot to the budget, or a lot to the debt, but he also helped clear a lot to the debt when we sold him in the end there. And we had to just rebuild from the top since then. Bottom of the barrels for Manchester United in this rebuild. But we are now your Champions League winners after 8 or so seasons. Vamos. And it will be Amad Diallo to lift that Champions League trophy. The man who deserves it the most out of the current Manchester United players in the squad is this man himself. He tried everything he can to help success them. Amad Diallo makes him Manchester United giving a Champions League trophy. That will be the end of the rebuild. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all back here on Wednesday, probably for another 10-minute rebuild. Until then, peace out.